The 2017 to 2019 L5P Duramax. A wondrous feat of modern engineering, possessing both beauty and power, capable of towing anything, anywhere. Featuring a staggering 445 horsepower and mind-boggling 910 foot-pounds of torque stock. It retailed anywhere from $55,000 to $70,000 when new. This is the story of a truck I bought for 35 times less. For just $2,000, this is mine.
Guys, behind me is my 2017 L5P Duramax Denali diesel. Or it was. This is my Denali Duramax. This is the cheapest L5P in the country at $2,000. We're gonna go over the pros and then we're gonna go over the cons. And there are some pretty big cons on this right now, some very big problems, but we'll get to that, don't you worry.
But first, the story of how I got here. This is my 2009 Keystone Fusion. It's a 39-foot fifth wheel toy hauler. And about 9 months ago, I spent my entire life savings to buy and renovate this trailer to live in. I won't show you the interior right now because it's a bit of a mess, because I live in it. But now I have a huge problem. I don't have a truck to pull it. How did we get it here, you might ask? Well, we borrowed this truck from my brother in order to make it here. But that's not a permanent solution. I can't borrow his truck every time I need to move this trailer because he has his own trailer to pull. And I can't stay on my mom's property forever. That's right, guys. I'm currently living on my mom's property in this camper trailer. Thank you, Mom, for letting me stay here. I'm doing my best to get out of here. But guys, that's why I desperately need a truck. So that I can either travel across the country in this trailer or that I can pull it to a property that hopefully one day I do own. But if you've seen the truck market lately, especially for the diesels, it's obscene, and it's way outside my price range, which leads me to the other night where I found this truck on Facebook Marketplace. Now you'll notice that the listing shows $3,500 as the list price, but I said that I got it for $2,000. Obviously we negotiated a bit, but with a little bit of a twist here. I did not have $2,000, let alone $3,500 lying around. What I did have was a 2004 Chevy Silverado that I had picked up for $1,500. The previous owners had put a new fuel pump in it and wired it incorrectly. For those of you who are familiar with the GMT 800s, you probably know what happened. But what does this truck have anything to do with buying the Duramax and the $2,000 I said I spent? Well, we ended up working out a straight trade. My truck for his truck. I was pretty surprised he accepted, but I'm happy he did. So where did the $2,000 come from? Well, I bought this truck for $1,500, fixed the fuel pump wiring, and other than the $200 in diesel I spent to pick it up from the area in Arizona that it was in, I never put another dime into it. And then I spent another $200 to load the Silverado onto a trailer and haul it down to Phoenix and make the trade.
My buddies, we have a Duramax. We have a Duramax, my buddies. L5P 2017 Denali Duramax, yes. Very nice.
Now, a lot of people may say that's cheating, that that's not accurate, that that doesn't count because I didn't actually buy the Duramax for any money. But I was just under $2,000 into the entire deal. That's how much it cost for me, personally, to get the Duramax. So, $2,000 is what I'm saying I paid for it. And even if I had enough cash lying around to buy it, I'm confident I could have bought it for $2,500 to $3,000, still making it the cheapest L5P Duramax in the country, maybe even the world, by far. Which brings us back to now.
All right, guys, first and foremost, we're gonna go over the pros, the really good things about this truck, because there's a lot of bad, so let's do the good first, okay? First and foremost, we have the entire drivetrain. We have the L5P Duramax motor, we have the Allison transmission, and the transfer case. It is all here. Everything is there, drive shafts, CV axles, everything. All of that is present and accounted for. For the drivetrain, a really good thing, guys, we have a dual alternator setup right here. Alternator 1, alternator 2, or vice versa. I don't know which is 1 and which is 2. However, we have both of them from factory. That's a pretty rare option, and I'm really excited about that, you guys. And speaking of, this motor has been tuned and deleted. If you look over here, you can see the 2 block-off plates we got here for the EGR delete, and a really, really big thing, you guys, we still have the tuned ECM. If you look right here, you can see the HP Tuner sticker right there. And that's a really good thing, because if we didn't have that, we'd have no chance of getting this running anytime soon. So that's a really, really good thing. Now, speaking of the running gear, we do have a pretty nice lift on the front end here. So it's Pro Comp is the brand for the lift. We've got that. It's got some nice knuckles on here for the lift, of course. They look kind of factory, but they're not, I promise. And a really exciting thing, the powder-coated traction bars right here. And along with another bracket for the Pro Comp. Now, guys, this thing used to have, if you look right here, it used to have a really nice rear end lift as well. However, as the previous owner started parting this out, and we'll get to that in just a moment, don't you worry. The previous owner started parting out this truck, hence its current condition. And unfortunately, with that, there are a lot of missing parts. One of those is the rear lift. It was a really nice lift. He showed me what it was. I can't remember the name right now, but it was very expensive. So it's a shame we don't have that, guys, but it is what it is. Now, one major pro is that it is a clean title. I have the clean title physically in person. I also have the key. And speaking of the key, let's take a look at the interior, you guys. Now, I know this looks like a major mess. However, there are a lot of really good things happening in here. We still have the column. We still have a box of interior parts. And yes, you do see that turbo there. We'll get into that as well. Don't you worry. I do have also most of the seat belts. I think the only one missing is the passenger front seat belt, but we'll get into that. And guys, this was a Denali at one point. So you see that sunroof, you see a lot of really nice stuff going on in here. We had the upgraded sound system, which I think is all still intact. Okay, I think that does it for the pros. And now we're gonna get into the cons, okay? Obviously, there's a really, really big problem with this truck. It looks like this. Obviously, the entire front clip, the cooling stack is missing. We're also missing the entire fuse block here. We have the base for the fuse block, which is really good, but it is missing. Now, we've got 2 really major problems, aside from everything missing. First and foremost, part of the harness here has been cut. Straight up gone through. That's gonna be a problem. But what we'll either do is get a new harness, which could be a really big pain in the rear, but it might be the route we go, or depending on what we can find, we might be able to fix this by splicing in that section of missing harness. Now, speaking of cut plugs and missing harnesses, if you'll follow me to the back here, we got some cut harnesses back here as well. Now, 2 of these plugs for what I assume is the bed. I believe these go to the bed for lights and everything. Those are also cut and missing, which is not great. And one last thing we have cut, if you'll follow me back around to the side here, and we'll take a look at the interior here. When they pulled the interior, they also took the airbags with it. So the driver airbag, they cut the harness. That's not a big deal. We can get a new harness in there. We can splice it in. It's not a problem. Those 2 back there, I also don't think will be too big of a problem. It should be fairly simple as long as we can find the plugs. We'll either repin it or we'll splice it in. The biggest problem is going to be that cut harness right over here on the driver's side. If we can find it, we'll do our best. But if we can't splice it, we're going to have to replace the whole harness. That's a problem. Now, you've seen the interior. The interior is completely gutted. It is missing. That's also a major problem with this truck. And obviously, we don't have the bed. We basically need a whole new body for this truck. I think it's going to be a pretty fun project, but we haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet, guys. The biggest problem with this truck is the motor. The reason it got parted out, the reason it is in the condition it is today, it's locked up tight. It's locked up real tight. Now, the reason this is locked up, we've found out. At this point, we know what it is, all right? Thankfully, we don't think it's too bad. We think we can fix it. Okay, now the story the previous owner told me, and I've heard two stories now. I've had the previous owner that I bought it from, and then the mechanic he took it to has reached out to me and told me his side of the story. So first and foremost, the previous owner, what he told me, and I'm sure you'll know where this is going a second I start talking, but he believed he had a failing oil pressure sensor. And the reason he believed that is that the oil pressure gauge would drop to 0 for just a couple seconds and then go right back to where it was. And that was a problem that reoccurred several times over the course of 3 to 4 months, I think he said. And at one point, he was driving on the freeway and oil pressure dropped to 0 and didn't go back. So he figured, sensor went out, it's finally time to get a new sensor. So he kept driving on his merry way, got to where he was going, shut it down, went about his business. Next time he got in the truck, however, he started it up. And what he told me is that the top end was making some funny noises, and he did not like that. So he shut it off, he towed it to a shop, got a quote for the fix, didn't like it, brought it back to his place and started parting it out. And that's why it's in the condition it is now. That's how we got to where we're at today. Now, the mechanic also reached out to me. He got my number from the previous owner because he wanted to buy a part off of me or swap a part just for his own truck to see what happens. Now, what he told me is that when it arrived in his shop, he diagnosed it as a collapsed lifter on the driver head. And as with a collapsed lifter, you guys probably know you want to replace the cam as well because it's probably started eating into the cam. So he quoted for the full job, remove the head, replace the lifter, replace the cam, put it back together, call it a day. Well, the previous owner did not like the quote he got, is what I've been told. I don't know why, it seemed pretty reasonable to me. But yeah, and from that point on, he started parting it out. Now, I got this truck for a really good deal, and based on what I've seen, you'll see a bit later in the video, we'll go on ahead, take a inspection camera, stick it down the cylinders, take a look at all of the cylinders, see what we find. My findings concur pretty well with a collapsed lifter or an exploded lifter, rather. There's some pretty interesting stuff going on in the head on the driver's side, but we'll get into that, don't worry. So the previous owner, we learned had a really nice powder-coated rear diff cover. But when we were at a gas station on our way home, we found out...
Oh, it's not bad.
That doesn't look bad at all. It's got...
a little crusty on the inside.
It's got some crust, but there's not really...
There's no rust.
Any rust, so...
Okay, we're okay.
Heck yeah. Anyways, we found out that the previous owner took it off and sold it, which makes sense. He was parting out the truck. But he put the factory one back on halfway. None of the bolts were tight, and there was probably about a 1/4-inch gap between the pumpkin and the cover. And he said this thing's been sitting outside for about a year. So we were... Yeah. We were concerned about some rust, but other than a little bit of surface rust on the gasket surfaces, there is no rust, which is really good. Between that and the turbo being off of that manifold for who knows how long and what appears to be a bird nest, I think we should be pretty good. We did find out, and Parker made a really good point that the turbo, all of this play could have been because of the oil pressure issue. The bearing could have starved and gone very bad. I mean, with that much play in it. And that could have potentially been the sound the previous owner was hearing from the top end. But regardless, we are going to take the glow plugs out, stick a borescope down there. I'm going to take the oil filter off, cut it in half, take a look at what's inside there. And then we're going to see if we can get to the oil pump and see if it's any good. And if it is, or depending on what we find, we will do our best to rebuild this and get it better than factory, running and driving again. What?
Glow plugs are out.
Glow plugs are already out?
I think.
Oh,
I don't know if I can
that's...
see that hole.
Yeah, you can see that one. Then there's that one right there. You see, are the other ones out? Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's glow plugs or not, but
I think that might be the glow plugs, Parker.
well,
That
I got my
might
borescope and we can shove it
be a
down.
really bad thing. Yep, other side's the same. I don't know if you can see it, but that, I think, bolts the glow plug. And there's a little hole right there. It's hard at this angle to see, I know, but it looks like all of the glow plugs are missing, which is not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. One other thing of concern, we did find out that somebody's been messing with the transmission pan. Quite a few of the bolts are missing, and it started leaking oil on us right back over there while we were loading it. So we're going to pop the pan off and see if there's any solenoids missing or just anything that looks odd. But let me get under here, actually. Let me double check, because it kind of looked like some of the bolts, like that one right there, have not been touched at all. Those two, well, there's that one there and that bolt right there, I stole from there and one over here to prevent it from leaking any further, but you can see that most of the bolts are missing. Though that one right there does not look touched, which gives me hope, and that one right there doesn't look touched either. Alright guys, here's the deal. We don't have an inspection camera at the moment that will fit in either the glow plug holes or the fuel injector holes. The opening is about 7.2 millimeters or something to that effect, and the smallest camera I have currently is 7.5 millimeters. So I just ordered one on Amazon that was 5.2 millimeters. It should fit in the hole. We should be able to take a look at the cylinders and all that. In the meantime, because I can't spin the motor over because it's locked, and I can't inspect the cylinder walls or the cylinders themselves, the only thing I can do is pull the oil filter, cut into it, and we'll see what happens. So for now, we'll pull the oil filter. It's that guy right there. Drain it into this, cut it open in this. I got some tools here, and we're gonna see what we see, whether it's good or bad. So let me set up the camera real quick, and then I will get this thing popped out. Find out. Oh. Or maybe I won't be in the way of the camera. That's actually turning a lot more smoothly than I thought it would. Well, the oil's a little dark. A lot dark and kind of thick, but I mean it is diesel oil, so hard to say. So far it doesn't look, it's not the worst I've seen. We're gonna let this just drain a little bit here for a sec. I'm not really seeing any metal shavings inside the filter so far, but you know, we haven't pulled it apart yet. That'll be the real test. All right, okay. I have the oil filter open, but before we take a look at that, I want to take a look at this oil that came out, see if I find anything, and go from there. All right, let's take a look at this oil here. Get it over here in the sunlight. I'm not really seeing any sort of flaking or bearing material or much of anything really. You know, I know the camera makes it really difficult to pick up. Well, hold on now. What is that? Is that a bubble? Yeah, that was a bubble. I'm really not seeing any sort of metallic flake, which is really good. But now let's take a look at the filter here. Gonna pull this guy out. I guess I still need to cut it open, lay it out. All right, you guys, I finally have it apart. It took a while, and I was picking through here. Oh, sorry. I was picking through here, looking at all these, and in this one right here, it's that right there. Let me get it out of there. Throw it up on there. Did I get it? I did. This guy right here. It would be nice if I could get it a little more clean. But there's also a smaller one, that guy, and this little guy too. There's this larger chunk, which... oh no, it's in my hand still. Huzzah. I think is plastic. Those are metal. I'm gonna go grab a magnet. I mean, there's still a chance that they're aluminum. But if I had to guess, no, let's not fling you all the way over here. Let me just see if I can kind of crush it a bit with a screwdriver. Yeah, I don't think that's metal. I really don't know. I don't think it's from the motor. I think it's part of this mesh up top and on the bottom. I'm really not seeing anything else other than those little chunks that I saw. I don't know, you guys. I think we're good. On oil anyways, it doesn't seem like there's metal in the oil, which is a really good sign. We're gonna find out though. I need to figure out why that motor's locked up. We'll find out. Okay, you guys. So I figured out something else I can do while waiting on that endoscope, borescope, the inspection camera, whatever you guys want to call it. What we're gonna do, we're gonna come under this truck here, and we are going to go on ahead and drain the oil out of the pan. We're going to take a look at just the general health of the oil, see if there's any more metal chunks or shavings in there. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it, considering the lack of oil shavings in the oil filter that we found earlier. But you never know. Maybe there's just like chunks chilling in that oil pan. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's so not good. Oh, oh brother. That was water that just dripped out. Oh no. Oh man. Oh, man. So the plan for this, you guys, is depending on how exactly the motor is locked up, we're going to go on ahead and try and rebuild this thing, which would be really awesome, you know, but this is a project and a half for sure. Completely and utterly a project. This is I might be way in over my head here, I don't know yet, but we'll find out, you know. The only way this is going to happen though, depending on the condition of the motor, is with your guys' help. And you know, that's the only way this is ever going to get back on the road. I really want to rebuild it, but the condition of it right now is not looking super likely. I'm sure I could get the motor to a shop and get the motor rebuilt, but that costs money, which I don't have. You know, I live in this fifth wheel right here. That's my house. That's why I need a truck, so that I can take it places, and hopefully get off my parents' property, because that's where I'm parked right now, is my parents' property, and I live in their backyard. So, you know, I'm working 2 jobs, trying to do everything I can to make ends meet, but this project right here, just, I want to do it, guys. I want to do it so bad, but the only way I can do it is with your guys' help. Whether you've got parts that you can sell to me for fairly cheap, or you're willing to donate $10, $20, you know, to go into a fund to rebuild this motor. But yeah, as of right now, that's where it stands.